Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla if you're new here, and I make videos about showing up for yourself. And in today's video, I am going to be answering some assumptions that you guys have about me. Now, I realized that I asked for this. I was hoping it would be a bit of a fun video that would be kind of a nice thing to see what you guys, like some of the things that you guys might assume about me, and some of them were like right on the ball, some of them were completely wrong, and it's just fun to see. I did it in two ways. I did it with on my Instagram. I asked, one of those sticker things for you guys to send in your assumptions, and I responded to them there, or I could see who sent them in. And then I did it with the app NGL. Now, I believe, sorry, this hair stuck to my face. I believe that this app NGL, or I think it's Not Gonna Lie is what it stands for. It's actually quite an insidious app. It gives people the opportunity to hide behind anonymity and to say what they really think or really feel. And while the majority of the NGL responses that I got were actually very nice, a couple of them used it as an opportunity for either a character assassination or for a accusation as opposed to an assumption. And I think that this, honestly, when I saw a couple of them, I was like, oh, they were the first few as well, which I thought was very telling, that the people who responded first, who obviously saw my story first, were the people who obviously have some kind of issue with me. So I want to say, if you are somebody who has an issue with me or an issue with anybody, if I don't make you feel good to watch, please unsubscribe from me, both on Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube, because I don't want to make anybody feel worse about themselves. I don't want to feed into any negativity or personal script that's going on in somebody's head about who I am or who anybody is, because we don't need any extra negativity in our lives. If I am not somebody that gels well with your ethos or where you think the world should be going or something like that, unfollow me. That's completely free, and I do the same for anybody that I feel doesn't help me to feel positive and to build me up and make me feel really good in whom I follow. I don't want to consume content from people that I don't like. If you don't like me, that's completely fine. That is your opinion, and you are totally entitled to that. And I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. As Dita Fonte said, you could be the ripest, juiciest peach, but there's still going to be people who don't like peaches, and that's fine. So I'm going to answer some of the NGL ones, but I think it's just really important as well that we all take our times to remember that the words that we say can have an impact on somebody's life. If you are writing something anonymously and you don't believe that you should say it, or you would say it to somebody's face, I think it's an opportunity for us to take a step back and say, do we really need to say this or make this assumption or make this accusation or say something to this person? I'm very comfortable in whom I am, so it doesn't really bother me it bothered me, like it gave me a bit of a ugh reaction or a nice hit of cortisol first thing in the morning. But also, honestly, on the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't bother me that much. So if somebody's goal was to incite or change or hate me, or something like that, it hasn't really worked. I think we also always have to remember when we are doing anything, what is our intention behind it? What is it that we are hoping to achieve by saying this to somebody? If it makes you feel better to lash out at somebody or to have a negative experience or to talk at somebody, maybe it might be an opportunity to do a little bit of reflection. But anyway, let's get in. I'm not going to do all of them because there was quite a lot. So, first one, lovely. That you seem truly happy. Started Body Slims thanks to finding your page. Yes, I am honestly, for the first time in my entire life, truly, truly happy. I think it's a lot of working on myself and putting myself first and showing up for myself that has really helped me to be happy for the first time in my whole life. So thank you. Yes, I am. Somebody said, I love following you. I love your style. I don't like the word assumption. And do you know something? Somebody also reminded me that to assume makes an ass out of you and me. So thank you very much, Mary. A couple of people have assumed where I live, which is in a very affluent town in Dublin, and I don't live in that town. I choose not to share where the exact town in which I live in, just for my safety and for a bit of anonymity. I know I've met quite a lot of you around the area, but I choose not to kind of share exactly the town that I live in, just, you know, just to keep it a little bit of privacy. So Diane's assumption was that I'm very, or it just said genuine, and I really appreciate that, Diane. I strive to be my most authentic self, and that's really nice that you assume that. Thank you. Amy, her assumption was that I don't drink. That would be correct, Amy. I currently don't drink. I haven't drank since way before I had Brannock. I think I had, during my weight loss, I had like 2 or 3 drinks, and I made a whole video on my relationship with alcohol. I'm not saying I'll never drink again, but I don't currently drink, and I probably won't really. It's not something I really want or crave. It's funny, like my brother was away the other day, or like last week, and he was in Croatia, and he had a tequila Moscow Mule, which was like tequila and ginger ale and lime, and I was like, now that I think I'd have, like, that's something that I actually want, because I want to taste it. I don't drink to like let loose, or to, you know, like to forget, or to give me confidence anymore. But yeah, I'll leave that full video up there if you guys want to check that out. Suzanne said, you've been a vegan a long time. I have been some kind of vegetarian, vegan, plant-based something, pescatarian for about 12 years-ish, if not even longer than that. But I've kind of done a mix of it. Like I'm plant-based now. Like I don't consume any kind of animal products or meat or fish. It's really hard for me to like tell people's little things. So one said, 5 attend for Mary, I think, said, my assumption, a thing that is accepted to be true, is that you are remarkable. Thank you, Mary. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a break from the nice Instagram ones, and I'm going to head into the NGL ones so we can have a wee look and see. So most of them are fine. Like I went to private school. Yes, I did go to private school. I went to private secondary school in Ireland. I went to the high school in Dublin. It was an experience. It was grand. Like it was just where my whole family went, so that's where I went. You grew up quite wealthy. I grew up quite wealthy. Yes. I grew up in a house where I didn't want for anything. I was very lucky that my family ran their business from their house. We had a bakery and a small cafe in Rathmines. And yes, while I grew up not wanting for anything, and we went away for holidays and stuff like that, owning your own business is very, very difficult, and especially when it was just before the recession hit. So we went through a lot of financial difficulties. So while I wouldn't say I was a very probably typical middle class upbringing. That you replace food addiction with clothes buying addiction. Also find it a little funny that you don't eat meat because you think it's cruel, but you buy fast fashion that is most likely made for shitty wages and life quality for those that work in these factories and fuels world inequality. That was quite a loaded one, wasn't it? I think that we need to be very clear about the term addiction and not bandy it around. As somebody who's had food addiction, I know what addiction feels like, and no, I'm not addicted to buying clothes. I love buying clothes, and I love fashion, and I love, for the first time in my whole life, getting to dress the way that I want to dress. It is something that it brings me so much joy, and I had zero wardrobe when I hit my goal weight. Nothing. I had nothing left that fit me from before. Not a single thing, not even a single pair of knickers. So I had to restock my entire wardrobe, and I did some of it before I had Brannock, and then of course I got pregnant very, very quickly after I had him, after I got my goal weight. So I then had to get some maternity clothes, and then when I had him and reached my goal again postpartum, I wanted to restock my wardrobe, and I am loving it. It brings me so much joy and so much happiness. It's not the everything, but I most certainly did not replace my food addiction with buying clothes, because there was a very long time where I was working on not having my food addiction and completely unable to buy clothes when I was losing weight, and they were also in lockdown and I was pregnant. So no. In terms of the fast fashion or the accusation about not eating meat and shitty wages, I try to be quite conscious about where I buy from in terms of slave labor and things like that. I have actually been approached by a number of companies who have less than ideal practices around their factories and the workers. And I have turned down extremely lucrative opportunities because they don't fit in with my ethos. So while you can bandy about that, you know, like places like Zara and things like that are the worst of the worst, I don't think they are. I'm not going to pretend to be perfect. I would like to be a little bit more conscious about it, and I'm definitely looking at secondhand more than firsthand at the moment. I haven't bought much lately at all. In the last kind of month, 6 weeks, I haven't gotten anything really. So yeah, so that was one of the kind of more accusatory ones. Do I ever feel under pressure because of your achievements? Congratulations on it too. I assume you mean under my weight achievements and my like social media achievements, like getting a decent following and things like that, which is really hard. In terms of keeping up with the algorithms and things like that, yes, I do sometimes feel pressure. It's very difficult to not play into Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of those, and their algorithms. Instagram is the worst of them. But I also love what I do. I genuinely love what I do on social media. I really, really do. I find so much joy from connecting with you guys and speaking to you, and helping people to see that there is different ways to do things, and you know, spreading information and spreading like my message of showing up for yourself and self-care. And I think that if I have to play into the Instagram algorithm and like the kind of the pressure under that to keep producing in order to reach more people, then I'm okay with it. I wouldn't say I'm quite hard on myself, but I am not a perfectionist. I'm not a workaholic. I don't like those terms, but I am a very hard worker, and I think a lot of us are. From your videos, I think you have a disordered view of food. No, I don't. Your assumption would be incorrect. As somebody who has had disordered eating for 30 something years, I no longer have a disordered view of food, and it's very, very freeing. It's really, really enjoyable. I feel for the first time in my entire life completely free. You love yourself. I thought this one was really interesting. Yes, I love myself. I love myself, and I believe that that is not a bad thing. I spent my whole life hating myself. I hope that the intention behind this was a positive one. I'm going to take it as a positive one. And yes, I love myself, and that's okay. And I would love for all of us to be able to say that we love ourselves. And it's not something that, you know, is a consistent, you don't get to love yourself and then it's like, you know, you do for the rest of your life. It ebbs and flows, and it goes ups and down, and there's peaks and troughs. But yeah, and the general, my kind of general feeling is, yes, I do love myself. Are you looking to date someone right now? No, I am very, very happily taken. Thank you very much. I must go to bed at 7 p.m. No, my God, I wish. There are some days I can tell you that I feel like going to bed at 7 p.m. And there are 1 or 2 days since I've had Brannock where I've been like, I need to go to bed at 7 p.m. I tend to go to bed around 9. I like to be asleep by 10 to 10. That's kind of like my latest that I can go asleep by in order to kind of feel good about myself the next day. We need to fix his hair because it's gone a bit limp now from all the oil.